If you've been struggling to knock out the 10 expert wins that are required in order to get the Expert Supernova Expedition trophy, and you're worried you may not be able to grab it before it's gone, then I have some tips to make it a little easier. If you've played Expeditions, you'll know that there are 5 normal levels that you can choose from. Every 30 minutes, the objectives you need to complete will change, and you can either party up with friends, or Expeditions will automatically fill your team with up to 3 random players. Or you can choose an expert mission, where there are 6 different levels that are chosen at random, and the opponents are significantly tougher to beat. Unlike the normal modes, you'll not be matched up with any other players, so if you don't have anyone in your party, you'll be playing solo. Of course, the easiest way to beat these levels is in a party, but if you really like a challenge, or you don't have any friends that want to play Expeditions, then you'll need to go it alone. I found 2 levels in particular that in my opinion are the easiest to beat because of the objectives and being able to cheese the spire. But since it's random and you cannot choose which level you get, you may have to play a few times in order to find them. Even if you don't find the right levels right away, don't go back out to the lobby just yet. You're much more likely to get legendary drops in the expert game than you are in the normal modes, so make sure you know where all the chests are on each map and run around collecting all of the weapons and charms. If you're feeling brave, take out the bears as well. They have some great loot. Between doing this, picking up items that people drop in the lobby, and beating the levels, it won't take you long to have a completely golden loadout. Once you've looted all the chests, let some of the enemies kill you and send you back to the Supernova Academy, rather than backing out to the lobby. This will save you some time on the loading screen. You can choose whatever class and loadout you want, but I suggest having either the health or boost charms with the increased run speed. My key to beating these levels is avoiding conflict, and 3 of these speed charms makes you almost as fast as Shadow Caller in flight. The other thing to have is a set of plasma pistols. The higher the rarity the better, but use whatever you have and it'll only take you a couple levels to get some legendary ones. The first of the levels is the harder of the 2, and it's called Chaotic Cabal, and it's on the Spire Excavation site map. They don't tell you which map you're on when you load in, but you'll start on the east side of the map at the entrance gates. And the first objective is to defeat Core, which is by far the hardest part of this level. Core is located just to your right on the logging camp, so the first thing you'll want to do is run away from her, going around the map clockwise, gathering up all the healing potions and legendary items you can while avoiding the mobs. Once you make your way all the way around the map to the frozen lake on the north, you'll need to clean up any enemies on the top of the hill so you aren't getting attacked from behind. Then, from the top of the cliff, you can shoot down on Core without too much resistance as she jumps around between the buildings and the cliff. Eventually, she will jump up on top with you, so try to get as many hits in as possible while hiding behind the building. Eventually, she will drop back down into the logging camp. If you need to, back off to the far side of the frozen lake to regroup. There tends to be less enemies here, and you can get away from them fairly easy when needed. If you're lucky, Core may even get stuck in a spot where you can easily finish her off without her jumping away. I had this happen a couple times on this level. This battle will take the longest. I was usually around 10 minutes for Core alone, but after that it gets much easier. After defeating her, it's up to you whether you want to get the chest or not, as it can be a little risky. But you can lead mobs away before coming back if you want the loot. The second objective is to break 5 corrupting masks, which are located in the large building on the west side. Fortunately, you can pretty much cheese your way through this part by getting on the very top of the building and taking out the masks while barely being noticed. This objective is super fast and low risk. Occasionally, you may have to move around the roof so you can reach the masks on the far side. The last objective is the spire, and it's back where you started on the east side of the map. You'll want to head back to the gate and jump over the wall to get behind the buildings and onto the roof. This will allow you to stay out of the direct line of fire from the flying skulls and laser beams. The spire doesn't take as long to defeat as Core, but it's a repetitive process of ducking out and shooting the weak points each time they drop, and hiding each time the spire attacks. Rift Ripper also works well here if any mobs get close enough to hit you, as the shards will take them out without exposing you. After a few rounds of this, you should have your first expert victory. The second level to look for is called Mixed Signals, and it's one of 2 expert levels on the Busted Bridge map. You'll spawn in at Durburger Restaurant on the southeast of the map, and the first objective will be to destroy 5 corrupting masks which are conveniently located right in front of you. I like to destroy the first mask before the mobs can even figure out what is going on, and then I run around the area collecting chests and taking out the other 4 masks. If too many mobs show up, just run away to the next one and come back later. This is where the speed charms come in handy, or using the hunter or shadow caller to move around faster and beat the mobs to the masks. The second objective is to deploy the field generator, which is located on the north side of the map in the parking lot next to the village. On your way there, make sure you gather up chests and rescue as many villagers as you can to get extra health. When you first arrive, there won't be too many enemies, so spend as much time as you can in the circle while running around to avoid getting hit. Once they really start to gang up on you, run out the gate and up the road to draw everyone away, and then do a large circle towards the lake and back to the parking lot. Go a little slow at first so the mobs follow you, and then sprint back so you have as much time in the generator circle as possible without being bothered. You may have to do this a few times, but eventually you'll get it set up without taking too much damage. The last objective on this level is also the spire, and once again, we're going to cheese our way past it. It's located on the northeast corner by the waterfalls, and you're going to want to position yourself in the small pond next to the village. From here, you'll be able to avoid the spire attacks, and for the most part, the mask makers will leave you alone. When the spire's weak points are down, you can get on the edge of the grass and hit the close ones with your pistols. Don't go out any farther than you have to, or it'll attract the attention of the enemies piled up at the bottom of the hill, and they'll start to hit you with arrows and chuck dynamite at you. Once the spire launches the skulls, you'll need to drop back into the water. This puts you low enough that they'll smash into the hillside rather than hitting you. While that's happening, the laser will begin firing. You want to wait until it's started, and then roll or dash back towards the center of the pond so it'll pass you by. If you go too far back though, the laser will immediately stop shooting at you. But this just resets the laser attack, so the next time you approach the spire, it will fire the laser again instead of dropping the weak points. You may have to practice a few times to figure out where the sweet spot is, but once the laser started firing, it'll only arc through where you were standing when it started, and you don't need to move too far back to avoid the beam. Keep an eye out for the odd mask maker that managed to jump up on the steps. Like the previous map, you'll keep doing the attack and hide method over and over again until the spire is defeated. Rift Ripper also works well here to take out the mobs with the shard attack while still hiding in the pond. Between these two levels, it shouldn't take you too long to knock out all 10 victories and get the trophy. It may take a few tries to get it figured out, and I hope it won't be too much of a grind for you. If you have any other tips or tricks you use to beat the expert levels, be sure to leave them in the comments to help out others. Thanks for taking the time to watch my video. If you made it this far, I'd really appreciate a like and your subscription. And if you're purchasing anything from the item shop and you want to support me, it would be great if you use my creator code GrindGeek. Thanks for watching, and remember, grind smarter, not harder.